Simhakarna, a mighty lion, lived in a vast forest. He was the king of the forest, feared by all the other animals for his immense strength and sharp claws. His roar could shake the trees, and none dared to challenge his authority. All the animals, from the smallest rabbit to the largest elephant, lived in constant fear of the lion. Simhakarna's rule was harsh, and he demanded that every animal provide him with food every week. If any animal failed to bring him the required meal, they would be devoured. His reign of terror had lasted many years, and no one dared to defy him. Among the many animals in the forest, there was a small rabbit named Chatur, known for his sharp wit and cleverness. Chatur was different from the others. Instead of relying on his size or strength, he used his intelligence to solve problems and avoid danger. However, the time had come for the animals to give their weekly tribute to the lion. The animals gathered together and were terrified, wondering how they would manage to satisfy the lion's insatiable hunger. They sought Chatur's advice, fearing the lion. Chatur thought for a moment, his mind working quickly. "I have an idea," Chatur said confidently. "I will go to the lion myself and offer him a solution." The other animals were shocked. "You? You are so small and weak. How will you survive?" they exclaimed. But Chatur was resolute. "I will outsmart him," he replied, "for brains can be more powerful than brawn." The next day, Chatur set off towards the lion's den, his heart pounding in his chest. The sun was high, and the forest seemed unusually quiet as he made his way toward the lion's lair. He had a plan, and he was determined to see it through. Simhakarna, as usual, was lounging lazily in his den, basking in the warmth of the sun. His eyes narrowed when he saw Chatur approaching. "What brings you here, little rabbit?" he growled. "Are you here to offer yourself as my meal?" Chatur, maintaining his composure, bowed before the mighty lion. "Oh, great Simhakarna, I come to you with a proposition," he said, his voice steady. "I am not here to become your meal, but rather to offer you a solution to a problem that could benefit you greatly." Simhakarna raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "A solution? What could a tiny creature like you offer me that I do not already have?" he asked. Chatur smiled. "You see, great lion, all the animals in the forest are terrified of you. They live in constant fear, and they fear that if they don't bring you enough food, you will devour them. But what if I told you there was a way for you to feast on far more food without having to chase down each animal? What if I told you that there was a way for you to become even more powerful, not just by your strength, but by outsmarting the other animals?" Simhakarna was curious now. "Go on," he said, his voice softening. Chatur continued. "What if you were to show the other animals that you are not only strong but also wise? Imagine, instead of demanding tribute from them, you could allow them to offer it willingly. If they were to believe that they could no longer escape your wrath, they would bring you food without hesitation. They would be so frightened that they would give you food from the farthest corners of the forest." Simhakarna's eyes glistened with interest. "And how do you propose I accomplish this?" he asked. "Simple," Chatur replied. "I will go to the animals and tell them that you are a great king, but you have become so powerful that you no longer need to hunt. You will allow them to bring you food in tribute, but they must do it willingly. In return, you will spare their lives and allow them to live in peace." Simhakarna thought for a moment. The idea seemed clever, but he was a proud lion, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to appear weak. "And why would the animals believe you, little rabbit? They know I am the most powerful in the forest." Chatur chuckled softly. "Because I will tell them a great story. I will tell them that you are the most powerful, not just through strength, but through wisdom. And in exchange for your wisdom, they will give you their food, as a mark of respect. They will believe me because I have always been known for my cleverness." Simhakarna, now intrigued by the prospect of gaining tribute without having to hunt, agreed. "Very well, little rabbit. You may try your plan, but be warned, if it fails, I will eat you for your audacity." Chatur, feeling confident in his plan, set off to gather the animals. He went from one animal to another, explaining his idea with such eloquence and wisdom that the animals began to believe him. The mighty Simhakarna is no longer satisfied with just hunting. He wishes for us to bring him tribute willingly, so that he may rule the forest with wisdom as well as strength. If we bring him food, we will live in peace. The animals, though nervous, agreed to Chatur's plan. Simhakarna enjoyed the food tribute, felt more powerful than ever, and his pride swelled. But soon, Chatur noticed something. The animals, instead of bringing the best of their food, were beginning to bring the smallest and least appetizing portions. They were still afraid of the lion, but they hoped that if they gave him just a little, they might escape his wrath. Chatur realized that the animals were not yet convinced of the lion's wisdom, and they still feared him deeply. Chatur had to think quickly. He returned to Simhakarna's den, knowing that the lion would be expecting more tribute. When Simhakarna saw Chatur, he growled, "Little rabbit, what have you done? The animals have begun to bring me food, but it is not enough. They are still holding back, giving me only scraps." Chatur bowed again. "Great Simhakarna, I see the problem now. The animals fear that if they give you too much, you might become greedy. They still believe that your strength is all that matters. But I can fix this." "How?" Simhakarna asked impatiently. "I will tell them that you have been so magnanimous in your wisdom that you have decided to spare them all. You will no longer hunt, and instead, you will live off the tribute they bring, not as a ruler who demands, but as a king who accepts with grace. The animals will be so grateful for your mercy that they will offer you the finest food." Simhakarna, impressed by Chatur's continued cleverness, agreed. "Do as you see fit, little rabbit, but be warned, if this plan fails, you will be the first to pay the price." Chatur went back to the animals, this time telling them that the lion had decided to show mercy. "Simhakarna, the great king of the forest, has agreed to accept our tribute out of grace and wisdom. He has promised us peace and will no longer hunt us." The animals, relieved to hear this, began bringing the finest food they could find. They trusted Chatur, who had always been wise, and they believed that the lion was now acting out of kindness. In time, Simhakarna grew accustomed to the constant flow of tribute. However, something unexpected happened. The lion began to feel a sense of respect for the animals. He saw that they were no longer afraid, and he realized that by showing wisdom, he had earned not just food, but their admiration. Simhakarna, the mighty lion, learned an important lesson that day. Strength alone does not guarantee respect. Wisdom and compassion can accomplish much more. And Chatur, the small rabbit, proved that even the weakest creature can outsmart the most powerful, not through force, but through intelligence and wit. The animals of the forest learned that sometimes the power of the mind is more important than the power of the body. The lion, once feared, became a respected and wise king. The forest flourished, and the animals lived in harmony, forever grateful to the clever rabbit who had taught them the true meaning of strength.